In this episode, we do our first on air review of a member of our community's student loans. Let's get started. Are your student loan payments or loan balances a major obstacle in your financial life? Then tune in and let's escape student loan debt. Hello, my name is Brenton Harrison of Escape Student Loan Debt and your host for the Escape Student Loan Debt podcast. This is a unique episode because it's the first episode where we're going to take a member of our community who has a student loan story or structure that we feel is instructive to the rest of you. And we're going to, for lack of a better phrase, bring them on stage or bring them on the big screen and put their loans up and talk through the strategy together. The person that we're interviewing, who was very gracious with their time, is someone who has two separate sets of loans from different periods of schooling that have radically different amounts of progress towards public service loan forgiveness. And there are some unique wrinkles based on what's going on with the courts right now when it comes to what would happen if that person decided to just pursue one set of loans for forgiveness and leave the second set off to their own, or whether they should consolidate them and try to get all of their loans a little closer towards forgiveness. So in this episode, we not only talk about the pros and cons of each of those strategies, but we also talk about kind of like the unique wrinkle that's presented by the current court cases in a way that I think is helpful or will be helpful to some of you in the audience. So I hope you enjoy it. This is something that we're going to do more of. As I shared in the last episode, we can't review everybody's student loans for free. It's more so something that we're going to do when we feel like this person's loans can help other people in the community. But if it's more straightforward, as I've shared, we will do it via one of our traditional consultations. But if you want to have your student loans considered, you can go to escapestudentloandebt.com/review. And we'll go through the process of reviewing your strategy as well. Hope you all enjoy this episode. We hope to have more of them to come. So as I shared in the intro, this is our first series where we're going to be actually reviewing the loans of a federal student loan borrower and going through some information that we feel might be helpful for them and hopefully helpful for the audience as well. We have de-identified this person and we are so appreciative of their being willing to be the first guest on the Escape Student Loan Debt podcast. So we're going to call them Person One. Person One, thank you and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
If you could, obviously without identifying yourself, tell me a little bit about your family makeup, your student loan journey. What brought you to this point?
Okay. Our family makeup, there's three of us. There's me, my husband, and our son. Our son is in his second year of college right now. I have student loans for my bachelor's degree from early 2000s. And then, as most people, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went back and got a master's degree after I realized what I wanted to do. So I have bachelor's degree and master's degree student loans.
Okay. And you and I talked a little bit before we press record, and I've gone through some of your information to have an idea of your loan makeup. But before we dig into your student loans, can you tell me what's a positive outcome for you? Like if we're leaving this call and you were going to pat yourself on the back and say, man, I'm glad I signed up for this. What needs to happen?
Well, I'm in the Public Loan Service Forgiveness Program, and as of this month, I would have hit my 120 months if there wasn't I'm on the SAVE plan, so those months haven't counted. So if I can figure out how to get those 120, maybe do a buyback and get the bachelor's degree loans erased, that would be lovely.
Okay, well, let's see what we can do in that regard. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to bring up some of the information that you've submitted, and we will see what we see. All right, I am going to start with your student loan statement. So you have sent in the details for all of your student loans. Just in case you are listening and not watching, I am going to explain these to you, but if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see all this information on screen. So it looks like in total you have about $83,000 worth of loans. As you mentioned, they are split between two different periods of schooling. If I'm looking correctly, it looks like of that 83,000, about 50,000 of it came from your bachelor's degree, and it looks like there's about 33,000 that came from your master's degree. Is that about right?
Yes, actually, that first set was a little bit of post bachelor's degree because I'm in accounting. I took some classes to sit for the CPA, but
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And if I'm looking at this, as you said, you are in the Save Plan forbearance. About how long did you sign up for the Save Plan as soon as it was opened? How did you land on the Save Plan?
yes, I signed up as soon as it was open.
Okay. And then my last question, not of the day, but my last question regarding the Save Plan is, did you ever get to the point where you were able to make payments on the plan? Or by the time you signed up, had they already started the process of putting people in forbearance?
I think I made about 3 months of payments on the safe,
Okay. And around about what was the payment at that time?
about $360.
Okay, $360 a month. Okay, all right. Now, I want to go to the second statement that you sent, and this statement details the amount of credit that you have towards public service loan forgiveness for these two sets of loans. You put a notation, as you mentioned, that this month, yeah, I think you said, is the month that you would hit your 120. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and it looks like, in terms of what's already been credited of that first chunk that we're really trying to get a hold of today, those loans have 107 months that have already been credited. So you have 13 months left to go, and it looks like on the previous set, or I should say the set from the masters, you have 13 qualifying payments of the 120, so a big gap between those two different loans.
Yes,
Okay.
I imagine those probably I'll pay them off before I hit the 10 years on public loan service, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that because I think you are on the right track there, but I want to kind of show you how the numbers play out because I have a potential recommendation that might provide some value, but we'll see. So let's start with the loans that are close to having them forgiven. We talked offline, I should say, that in the information you sent, you were interested in doing the PSLF buyback.
Yes.
Well, just in case you are listening and you are unfamiliar with that plan, the PSLF buyback is an opportunity that we've kind of been waiting to see if this current administration will continue. But it was instituted by the previous administration. And the way that it works is you can go back in time starting at 2007, or if you consolidated your loans, starting when you consolidated your loans, in any period of time that your student loans were in forbearance or deferment, as long as that wasn't an in-school forbearance or deferment, what you can do is you can go and you can buy back those months when you weren't making payments. So person one, am I to understand that the months that you're trying to buy back are all of those the save forbearance, or were there any other periods that you're trying to buy back as well?
I have 4 months that I think would qualify for buyback, the safe.
Okay. Looking at your statement, it says, if we're like looking at the months that have an employer that's been certified, it says that you have 107 months that qualify, but you still need to certify the employment for 59 of those months. Is that, hey, I worked for a different employer and I just haven't gotten that form sent in yet, or they haven't signed it? Where do you stand on having those months of employment certified?
Employment's been certified through December. Of those 59 months, some of those were prior to working in public service. So even though
Gotcha.
they're saying that they need to be certified, they wouldn't count because that was when I was in private.
Okay, well that is even better. So let's walk through the process of what it would look like to apply for public service loan forgiveness buyback. If you're looking on screen, you are looking at the page from studentaid.gov, and I'm going to give you some good news as it relates to this program towards the end of this episode. But going through this program, it talks about all of the ways that you can see if you have months that are eligible. Person one, we are obviously going to assume that you're correct and that you can apply and get your 120th month, but that is a crucial element of the program. You cannot apply to buy back any months until you can prove that if you were to receive that past credit, you would have reached your 120th month. What does that mean? It means that if you know that there are months that you want to buy back, but if you receive that credit right now, you'd only be at 100 payments. You have to wait until you would have gotten your 120th month in order to do so. Now, I asked about you certifying that employment because that's a great answer, because if there were months that we were missing that certification, that actually is the first step. You want to go onto a page on the student aid website called the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Help Tool, and it has all of the information that you need to certify your employment. You can either print a form and have them sign it and mail it back or fax it back, or now you even have the opportunity to email a form to someone who can verify your employment and have that done. Now, I want to ask person one, have you already tried to buy back the months of credit for these two loans?